Hey, it's Dave. This is my response to my media aesthetic project that I entitled For Sale. Okay, my purpose was to show the relationships between people and brands and how advertising leaks over into society and affects our own human relationships. Uh, I would like to talk about, before we get into the actual video, that it is inspired by avant-garde pieces. The themes come from Don DeLillo's White Noise, with consumerism, things like that. Also, two films by Dora Birbaum and Nick Brackage. Um, I will have links to those on YouTube, but for now, this is For Sale. Enjoy. Start off with an establishing shot. I always mess up that word. But then I bleed over into old advertisements and graffiti. That is to show how ads um, bleed over and also fail into our society. We use graffiti as a response, but also I think it adds like a nice little emotional touch to it. Okay, so the couple, that typeface is different from all of the other shots that are going to be slogans. Notice the Coca-Cola bottle that separates the couple. That is intentional, so visual metaphor, one of the devices. Again, this typeface, how it's brought up being different from the other ones. The black and white used to show dualism between man and brand. Again, the focus is the brand on the steering wheel, not me driving. Notice that. The aisles representing consumerism juxtaposed back to this in black and white. Okay, so remember that this is an homage to avant-garde pieces. It turned into a parody because I learned that my inexperience is very profound. So then we have scenes like I was driving backwards right there. This scene right here being an homage to one of the videos I will reference. Boom, I go right back. That's postmodernism, a pastiche to the past, as one of my sources put it. Okay, a reaction shot, learned from one of my sources. Juxtapose two visuals between the graffiti and the static. The static used to represent the clouding of the mind that advertising brings. The graffiti to show how it is a response in our own society, like a cry for identity. Taste of a Generation, Coca-Cola. They're all different slogans. One of the things I should have changed, definitely have dialogue. It's also a non-linear narrative. I should have started simpler. So an homage to the avant-garde was definitely not the way to go. Okay, that should look familiar. That's where I'm sitting actually right now. Okay, again, clouding in the mind through advertisement. This next scene coming up is a direct reference to Ingrid Bergman's persona. This shot is to create intimacy. That's as close as pathos as I could come with my storyline. I'll talk about what I should have done at the end of this. Again, consumerism and the response. Visual metaphors. The close shots are to create intimacy. A sense of like feeling close with the characters, even though you know nothing about them. Uh, so I try and show what both characters are thinking. This is supposed to be the thoughts of me or my character. Again, clouded, the clouded mind. This next shot coming up is juxtaposed. The way that I shot it was to represent how my character was thinking of suicide. Again, clouding of the mind to the response, all of which I found in the town. And this shot right here of the gun, which is the closest to action that I actually get. Due to technical difficulties, I couldn't finish that scene. I couldn't get it onto my computer. That is one of the things I wish I could have changed. Then some establishing scenes again. Between Love and Madness Lives Obsession. That's probably one of my favorites. I love that scene right there. That old billboard that's all over the city of Greensburg. Again, the gun. The nice little covered up cardboard that covers up the abandoned buildings. And that is For Sale. Okay, then I'm going to talk about what I should have done. Okay, so last part, my audience. I intended my audience to be teenagers. I thought that representing advertisements as an oppressive force to an audience of people striving to find their own identity, I thought they could relate to that very well. But while I was filming, and I learned that this was becoming more of a parody than its own avant-garde piece, if you will, due to my inexperience, um, I learned that this would really only work for like cinema files, like film buffs and people, people who just watched the kind of films that I reference, not a lot of people are into that. Sometimes I'm not into it. I gotta be into the mood, but that's what I was trying to go for. But yeah, the audience change, I think, was in some ways liberating, that I could set it free and also not pander to an audience. But it was also humbling realizing that I can't do a lot on film at all. I didn't go to film school. Maybe someday, maybe. But okay, yeah. What else I would change? Definitely, I would start simpler. Yeah, just go through a regular narrative. Maybe do like a few nuances here to like inspire, but definitely keep it simple next time. Don't shoot for the stars. Like the people who made those films have been like creating films forever, and I just thought I would do this as a nice little project. But yeah, definitely add dialogue. I feel like logos is my main appeal because you have to make logical connections between the shots that I make and what I'm trying to say. That if you're not familiar with the art of film, it might go right over your head. Um, but yeah, so that's what I would change. I think dialogue and a little bit of character development, just a simple arc rather than like a non-linear thing, non-linear film would have added a lot more pathos, definitely, which would have made it a stronger piece, I feel. So it's not exactly how I wanted it, but it was a learning experience. Um, you're allowed to laugh at it. I laugh at it. It was a learning experience. I don't hold it against myself, but I learned a lot. I was able to apply the devices, and I still feel that my theme came through. Thank you very much. This is my response to For Sale.